Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to the channel, and today we have got one of the final, I almost said second to last, but it's actually going to be the third to last predictions video. We're in the championship round. There are 3 more games left in the NFL season. It seems like the season has been really short and really long at the same time when I look at it different ways, but we don't got a lot to do this episode. I consider doing all those little extra things that they have in the playoffs on ESPN when I'm doing it through, but I'm not going to do that. I am just going to do the 2 games and I'll talk about them, and this will probably just be a bit of a shorter video. And I'm kind of lucky that I was able to wait until now to record this. I want to get it out today on Friday, but there was just earlier today some very important news that we will get to later. I'm sure if you know it, you'll probably already know what I'm talking about. But let's hop into last week, do what we always do. So, looking at last week, I again only got 1 wrong. First matchup, picked the Packers, they won. Thing I kept saying about this game is that the Packers played the number 1 defense in the league and put up 32 points. Pretty impressive if you ask me. We don't care about any of the extra stuff. The Bills-Ravens, possibly the most surprising game for me. I thought this was going to be a lot more of a high-scoring game, or at least, similar to the other games. The Ravens scored 3 points. That is very interesting, and it makes me, have more questions and whatnot. Wonder, I guess, how good really is the Bills' defense? Are they really that good? And the Ravens' defense, hey, the Ravens, they got the second best defense in the league. They played the Bills with one of the top offenses. Bills only put up 17, though. So interesting things to look at, especially when you compare it to what the Packers did. Moving on from there, and I got that one right. The third one, I also got correct, picking the Chiefs over the Browns. Chad Henne in that game. Wow, what a play on 4th down. He also did throw an interception on what I'm pretty sure was his first pass, so that was interesting. But picked the Chiefs. Chiefs did win. What a season by the Browns, though. I mean, they came into this, last year people were talking about them as a Super Bowl favorite. That was dumb. But I thought they would be able to make the playoffs last year. This year, they finally get in, and they win a game. So, look out for the Browns. They're looking good. Really good offensive line. Really good backfield. So, just watch out for that. On to the last game. I got it wrong. I picked the Saints. Every single freaking time. So, I went with the Saints. They lost by 10. Props to the Bucs. They played a great game, especially on defense, getting however many interceptions it was. I think it was 3 picks off of Drew Brees. Not a good game from him, and possibly the last game of Drew Brees' career, which would be sad that, if he's retiring, it's just sad in general. Same goes for Phillip Rivers. Obviously, I had the video yesterday about all that stuff. If you didn't check out the video yesterday, make sure you go and check that out. But, whenever a guy like that is retiring, it's always a bit sad. But the Saints lost. And a lot of that was just the Bucs defense playing really well. So that was me last week. I got 1 wrong. And the 1 game I got wrong, the winner is playing my team. So there's some storylines, I guess, within the predictions. So let's go here over to the conference championship round. As you can see, I'm 8-2. I'd say that's a pretty dang good record. I've gotten 1 game wrong in each of the first 2 rounds. And we got 3 more. I'm hoping I can go 3 for 3 the rest of the way and get this thing to 11-2, which would be pretty dang good. But we're starting right here. Got a long way to go for the Super Bowl. And we have 2 games to play to get there, 4 teams. And the first 2 teams are the Packers and the Bucs. I'm going to try to keep things concise here and not ramble too much. Some things to mention. Start with the Bucs front 7. Did really well against the Packers in week 6 in that 38-3 game, or 38-10, my bad. Speaking of 38-3, I kept saying last week between the Bucs and Saints, you don't win a game 38-3 for no reason, and I picked the Saints. Obviously, that game earlier in the year didn't really matter. And Rodgers actually had a quote this past week basically saying the 38-10 game in Week 6 doesn't really matter. I think both teams have changed a lot, but I think the Packers' offensive line, even without Bakhtiari, is better now than they were in Week 6. And I think they're going to be able to do a lot better taking care of the Bucs front seven, their pass rush, and any blitzes they bring. I'm hoping A.J. Dillon is going to be ready to go. He was injured in last week's game. I think he'll be okay to go, but I haven't really heard, so I do not know. Even if we don't have him, we still have Aaron Jones and Jamal Williams, two very good running backs, and I think they'll be able to run the ball, which is obviously a massive part of what we're able to do on offense. It gives us, openings on play action, blah, blah, blah. I don't think there's a way that the Packers don't have success on offense. With the way they're playing right now and the improvement that they've had from the first game between these two earlier in the year, I think the Packers are going to be able to produce on offense. And I'm going to keep saying the word. Their defense is surging. The Packers' defense is surging. You look at the Bucs offense, they have a lot of weapons. One of those weapons, Antonio Brown, is going to be out. That is big news because I think with the number of weapons that the Bucs have, it's oftentimes hard to take care of. But I think the Packers' defense is going to be able to do it. They've been playing really well lately, and the Bucs are probably one of the best offenses that they will have played in the last few weeks, probably since Week 16 against the Titans, who at the time were the top scoring offense in the league. But when I look at this, I see two different teams from Week 6, and the main thing here is just the Packers offense is so much more dialed in, so much more in a groove, found their stride, whatever you want to say. Packers offense is at a point where I don't think any team can stop them. The Bucs are probably the only team. I would say the Bucs and the Rams. The Rams with the number one defense, you would think they might be able to stop the Packers, scored 32. The Bucs are the other team because of what happened earlier in the year. But in the first quarter, we still scored 10 points. So we will see what happens. I am picking the Packers. Those are my reasons. Those are the things I'm looking at. I got nothing else to say there. Moving on to the second game. Again, skipping all this other stuff. The second game in the AFC, the second-ranked Bills, and the first, I said ranked, I meant seeded. Number 1 seed Chiefs, number 2 seed Bills in Kansas City. 53% picking the Bills. I'm very tempted to pick the Bills, but there is not enough for me to do that. There honestly isn't enough. Obviously, Chiefs, they played a close game last week against the Browns, a team that you would think is nowhere near the Chiefs. But again, the Chiefs winning the game by one possession or single digits. It was a 5-point game. The Bills' offense kind of lacked last week, only 17 points, but against the number 2 defense in the league. Most important thing is they won. And probably the biggest thing that would make me pick the Bills here is because they gave up 3 points to the Ravens. But that's not enough for me to get over the fact that the Chiefs have Patrick Mahomes, they have Tyreek Hill, they have Travis Kelce, they have a ton of playmakers all over the place. I can't get over that to pick somebody else right now. I'm going to keep saying I'm extremely tempted to pick the Bills, especially with what their defense did, and I would not at all be surprised if they won. I'm picking the Chiefs. Go ahead and put it in. But yeah, and I forgot to mention this, kind of important, slightly significant, Mahomes will play. I got a notification this morning from ESPN basically saying that he cleared concussion protocol and he's going to be able to play. That's good, obviously. And good for the Chiefs, not so much for the Bills. I think they would probably rather be facing Chad Henne. But they're going to be getting Mahomes. They're going to be getting the MVP candidate. second place. Sorry, Pat. But yeah, I mean, what else is there to say? The Chiefs, the main knock, and I think I've said this in streams. If you've been in streams, you might have heard me say this. Chiefs have won so many games this year by single digits or one possession. They did it last week once again. Main takeaway from that is that they win. A lot of teams, they just can't win. They can't get over the hump. I think we've seen that with the Chargers in recent years, where they've had seasons where I think the Chargers and the Seahawks are like polar opposites. They both are always in super tight games. It seems like the Chargers always lose and the Seahawks always win. The Chiefs this year, they had so many tight games and they always won. They lost 2 games, and one of them was against the Chargers. Last game of the year, they were resting people, so really only one win, or one loss, my bad. They're too good. I have to pick them. But what I want to say is, I feel like with the way they're winning games, the way they're not blowing teams out, like other teams in the league are blowing out teams, Packers, cough, cough, Packers, blowing teams out, like all year, 40-point games, cough. I feel like there's a point for the Chiefs. Once they play a certain team, once they get to a certain level of team, which it might be the Bills, it might be the Packers, it could be the Bucs. I'm not sure which team it is, but I feel like there's a certain point where as soon as they play that team, they are not winning. That formula of a close game and winning by single digits is not going to work, and they're going to lose, and honestly, it might be a blowout. I don't see this being a blowout. With it being the playoffs, I just don't see that. But those are my thoughts there. Not surprised if the Bills win. I would be surprised if the Bucs win, but I'm definitely not surprised by the Bills winning here or the Chiefs winning. That's all I got. I mean, it's a shorter episode. I guess I kind of tried to drag it out a bit. So I'm sorry for doing that. I kind of rambled a bit. But I feel like, I mean, those are just, I'm trying to put out my reasons for what I'm doing here. I'm going with the 1 seeds. Yeah. Good luck to everybody, I guess, except for the Bucs. And I will be rooting for the Bills, I'll tell you that, because I think I'd rather play the Bills than the Chiefs. But those are my picks. Going with the Chiefs, going with the Packers. Let me know in the comments who your winners are, which 2 teams you have in the Super Bowl. I will be back next week with another predictions video, likely on Friday, hopefully on Friday. Actually, it won't matter when it is, and maybe it'll be Saturday, I don't know. There will be a predictions video next week. It will not be on the Super Bowl. It'll be a special episode, so I think that'll be fun. And then week after that is the final predictions video for the Super Bowl. So that's all there is for now. I'm trying to think of other things to say, but there's nothing. So thank you so much for watching. Stay safe as always, and I'll see you next time.